Restaurant innovation is the efficiency of self-service technology kiosks as a non-contact maximization on local fast food chain in Lemery, Batangas. So this is the title for our chosen study, and this study covers the school year 2021 to 2022. So for our introduction, let's talk about the main variable of our study, which is the self-service technology kiosk or the kiosk machine. So I know that you're unfamiliar with this machine, so let me introduce its actual picture. Here it is. So you can see this machine in some hotel, fast food, banks, airport, and some hospitality industry establishments. So what is the definition of a SST kiosk? Kiosk is one of the existing technology to our industry or the local fast food chain that is not only to keep up with the trend but also to provide convenience to its service. So some study came up with this. According to Marketplace, kiosk is an ordering system that is designed to provide convenient and easy to use option for the customers who wish to order food without the assistance of an employee or a crew. In addition of it, Pendrell said that having a ordering process like this or a kiosk will reduce long conquest, and a restaurant will result to prevent a overcrowding people, or it maximize the non-contact service. But some study inclined to it or contrast in this statement. According to Lee, he said that it implies the customers when it doesn't have deeper understanding within the machine or the kiosk. So it means there is a possibility that this machine will be misused or misinterpreted for its function. So overall, within these claims or other study, it remained unclear to us whether the kiosk machine is efficient to reduce face-to-face contact or it does not fulfill its function.
This is the background of the study. In today's era, one of the most efficient innovations is technology when it comes to the hospitality and food beverages industry. According to GN 2020, stated that the self-service kiosks provide convenience by reducing the customer's waiting time. In addition, it changes the way customers interact with employees from face-to-face contact to non-personal contact. Edition of Wang 2018 stated in this study that no matter how amazing kiosk technology is and how great the integration are, if customers don't use the self-ordering kiosk, they drastically lose their value. A huge problem that I've seen in this industry is that most of the self-ordering kiosks are designed and geared toward millennials.
Statement of the problem of our study. SOP1. What is the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of age, generation type, sex, and educational level? SOP2. What is the level of efficiency that measures that self-service technology kiosks in terms of perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, innovativeness, optimism, and discomfort? SOP3. Is there a significant difference between the respondent assessment on the above-mentioned variables when grouped according to profile variables? SOP4. Based on the findings, what recommendation may be pursued to improve the efficiency of self-service order kiosks as non-contact service maximization on local fast food chain in Lemery, Batangas?
We found out many theories and models that is related with our study, but we came up with one best theory that we know that can answer the questions for our study. So this theory is from Lin 2007. That is, his theory is named the TRAM model, or the Technology Readiness and Acceptance Model. This model is divided into two parts, which is the TR, or the Technology Readiness, and the TAM, or TAM, or the Technology Acceptance Model. So that is the TRAM model. This model is divided, it have some 6 sub-variables. That sub-variables is the perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, innovativeness, optimism, insecurity, and discomfort. So we know that this model and sub-variables help us to measure how efficient is the kiosk machine as a non-contact service to the customers and the employee. The conceptual framework of our study. So we use the IPO model of the input process output model. The input covers the SOP 1 and 2, which is the SOP 1 is the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of age or generation type, sex, and the educational level. And the SOP number 2 is the level of efficiency of self-service technology kiosks in terms of perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, innovativeness, optimism, and discomfort. So for the process, it is the method that we use in our study, which is the descriptive method and analysis of data through survey questionnaire. So the last part is the output, or it covers the SOP number 4, which is the recommendation may be proposed to improve the efficiency of self-service technology kiosks as a non-contact maximization on local fast food chain on Lemery, Batangas.
Significance of the study. These are the people or group of people that will benefit to our study, such as customers, employees, fast food management, Lemery colleges, research library, future researchers, and researchers.
The scope and limitation, or the coverage and limits of our study. So, this study covers the semester of school year 2021 to 2022. So, the respondent of the study, or the chosen respondent of our study, was the customers in some local fast food chain in Lemery, Batangas. So, we end up to this respondent, or we choose this respondent for our study because we know that they can help us to answer some questions for our study. So it will cover the profile of the respondents, which is in terms of age or generation type, sex, and educational level. So these three help us to determine the efficiency of self-service technology kiosks as a non-contact service maximization. Moreover, the study seeks to find out that if the STT kiosk is efficient ordering process to maximize the non-contact service within the customers and the employee in the local fast food chains. So the researchers exploited 5 variables only and decided to not use the insecurity as a sub-variable for this research. So we believe that the insecurity is one of the aspects of discomfort. So we only use the discomfort because it is more helpful to the variable for our study. This appeared by the study of Lihandera 2015, which he said that insecurity is distrust, while discomfort is doubt. And in using the technology, he cited that both of these variables are in the same thoughts. So we use the discomfort as a sub-variable of our study rather than insecurity because we know that discomfort is a more helpful variable to answer some questions for our study. So the fast food chain A and fast food chain B allowed the researchers to conduct the study, but the managers refused to sign the request letter in spite of explaining the ethical considerations of our study. So as per the managers, they value the confidentiality of their data and policy. So the fast food chain A and fast food chain B, in fast food chain A and in fast food chain B, we just decided to take pictures with the manager within our conversation to serve as an evidence and proof of our consent of this study. The synthesis, or the summarization of the review of related literature from the chapter 2. So you can get some information or data within the books, journals, articles, and some claims from the recent study that is related to your topic. So according to our synthesis or summarization, we came up to some claims that can help to answer the question from our study, and it also help on how we will go from our study. So according to Pendril and Kiyang, self-service kiosks are highly useful in today's environment since they may help to make restaurants safer for both customers and employees by decreasing, if not eliminating, is most of the face-to-face encounters. So in addition for the group of Castillo, Cordero, and Jello, kiosk is a digitally technology that is an automated device. SST includes digital screen kiosk, payment machine, and ticketing booth. From the fast food chain, restaurants must modify the digitalization of a kiosk. This is highly recommended to use in the fast food business because it enhances the customer's experience. So according to Seo, Yang, and Manes, this is the level in which feels the system will be used is simple to use. It has a significant relationship with the customer's desire to use technology. The easier the customer makes the kiosk to use, the more the people understand it directly. It also eliminates most of the waiting times of the customers associated with the eating experience, such as waiting to the order entry, waiting to the customer's other drink, and waiting for the check, and so on. In addition, also, from Presto, Prestagar, Dynamic, Bombaes, Jaworski, and Anselmo, it's being said that it also improves the customer satisfaction by allowing for personalized order. Customers can use the kiosk to personalize the products themselves, making the meal depending on their preference. Kiosk machines are used in some restaurants to help guests and reduce complaints from the customers. According to Zeo, Zhang, Endril, Yang, and Fer, they stated that kiosks at a restaurant is not only to construct an innovative technology infrastructure, but also the customers to participate in the service processes rather than dealing with the personnel in face-to-face. So the customer can develop and consume the service without the need of direct help from the personnel or the crew or employee of a certain establishment. So the purpose of putting a kiosk, according to the statement of Hanafiya, Jacob, and Weber, is to allow the customer who ordered anything to tailor what they want to while avoiding the contact service during the COVID-19 pandemic in the Philippines. So that is some statement that have a positivity within our study, but it contrasts the statement of some researchers. Like this statement, it contradicts the recent researchers' statement and claims from our study. So according to Grab, in which he states that the technology is too complicated to us, such from the customers. Not all customers are tech savvy and easy to use the technology. The customer may prepare face-to-face connection over automation. Some clients prepare in the person's ordering process to the kiosk. As a result, it can be stated that a kiosk is ineffective and it will retain the communication within the customer and the crew of the establishment. So according to Latif, Juan, Gavet, Huang, and Divina Gracia, and Natalia, not all the customers are eased with technology. Customer transaction necessitate security, engagement, transparency for the starters of the usage of the certain technology. It is difficult for those who will have a disability to utilize the machine. Most of the kiosks do not produce any sound and solely displayed on the screen only. So where the technology falls short when it interacts with the person that have difficulty comprehending something to read. So the person may adjust to us. If there has a misunderstanding, they can assist us in resolving it. So by this statement, it said that if a certain customer have a problem with using the kiosk, they are a possibility that they will need assistance within the crew of the establishments. So according to the local expert like Papandrea, Won, and Eastwood, another disadvantage is that once you leave the orders to the customers, you may lose some of the human customers' care touch. When the customers aren't required to interact one-on-one, they just feel more ease ordering more. So it means, it said that if you leave the kiosk machine within the customer, they feel more uncomfortable, or instead of ordering more, they will order least item to your establishments. Every technology is intended to benefit its user. Yet there are occasions when this is not benefiting to the customers. At the end of the day, it is up to the people decide how to manage it. So it means it is based on the customer on how they can order on face-to-face or within the kiosk. So this some statement of the research studies that we get from some books and journals and etc. This is the reason why we came up and why we chose our study, which is the efficiency of self-service technology kiosk as a non-contact service. So we want to know how efficient it is, how efficient the kiosk it is for this generation or these days. We want to analyze it, and we want to know if it is helpful to our customers and crew, or it's just a new problem for our establishment or industry.
Research local, or the place and setting of our study. Fast food chain A, location at Barangay Diversion Road, Lemery, Batangas. Fast food chain B, location at Lustre Avenue, corner Calle P. Gomez Street. The fast food chain A and B chain features a menu of fast food staples such as hamburger, fries, spaghetti, and fried chicken. This is the food establishment chosen by the researchers out of many fast food chains in District 1, because these are the only known fast food chains that use kiosk machine for guest order taking processes to reduce human contact and maintain the safety of the staff and customers. Research design to our study. The research design used in this study is the descriptive research method to determine the level of efficiency of self-service kiosks as a non-contact service maximization on local fast food chains in Lemery, Batangas. Survey questionnaire will be used as main data gathering instrument in collecting data from the respondents.
Respondents of the study, the ethical consideration when giving out your letter of consent to survey. Customer from fast food A chain and fast food B have a total weekly number of customer of 5,950 and a sample size of 136. Stratified random sampling is the sampling method used in this study. So the researchers divided the sample size into 4 in terms of customer generation type.
The sampling design of the study. The researcher will use the stratified random sampling as a method of selecting the respondent in this study. The method is a sampling that involves the division of the population into smaller subgroups and will be used to ensure the relatively equal representation of the variable for this study. The researchers divided the total population of the local into 4 and had equal numbers to obtain the balanced answer of not becoming biased. The stratified random sampling is the appropriate method for this study because we have a division of respondents into small groups. So the small groups that we are talking about to this study is our respondent, which is the customers. We decided to divided them into 4 groups, which is in terms of their generation type, such as the baby boomers, generation X, generation Y, and Gen Z. So we decided to divide them into 4 groups because according to our research gap, there has a problem of using kiosks in terms of age. So we decided to divide them into 4 groups to ensure if the kiosk machine or the SST kiosk is efficient for them to use to maximize the non-contact service between them and the employee of a certain establishments. The data gathering instrument for this study. So the first part is the construction of the questionnaire. The researchers conducted extensive reading about the indicators of the level of efficiency of the self-service technology kiosk as a non-contact service maximization for the development of the questionnaires. The researchers also surfed from the internet to collect relevant ideas, concepts, and information that serve as the basis of the questionnaire. So, it has a first part which is the demographic profile of the respondent. Second part is the sub-variables or the variables of the study. Each of the variable has 5 sets of questions. So the second part is the scoring responses. The researchers used a 5-point Likert scale. It was used in this study to determine the respondent assessment of the level of efficiency, whether it is very high or very low level of efficiency. So let me introduce the table that used for this study for the scoring responses, and here it is. Alright. Statistical treatment of data. The data gathered through the questionnaire were incorporated into a tally sheet so that the total number of the respondent responses in each item was easily interpreted and analyzed through the frequency and percentage, weighted mean, independent t-test, and one way of analysis of variance. So the frequency and percentage formula was percentage equals frequency times total number of population x 100. For the mean, its formula is the observation is equals to the summation times the number of observation. Independent sample t-test. This was used to determine if there is a significant difference between the perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, innovativeness, optimism, and discomfort when the group according to the age or generation type, sex, and educational level which are stated in Statement of the Problem 3 of Chapter 1. The analysis of variance. This was determined if there is a significant difference on the perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, innovativeness, optimism, and discomfort when the group according to generation, type, and a generation type of age, sex, and educational level in which is stated in the Statement of the Problem 3 from the Chapter 1.